What's up, MS Gym Nation? How you guys doing? Welcome to Motivation Monday. So we are still rocking it through this series that we're doing on the difference between MS Gym Warriors and MS Worriers. And during this series, we've really gone through a lot of things, like having the stark contrast between having a mindset of a peace-filled warrior that can walk in a sense of confidence, walk in a sense of hope, walk in a sense of peace, walk in a sense of knowing that they're going the direction they'll be going, but be ready to fight when it's time to fight. Versus an MS worrier whose mind is constantly filled with fear, constantly filled with confusion, constantly filled of what ifs, constantly filled with the negative conversations that they've had about life, about MS, about everything. And these people are constantly just spinning in circles like this because they don't know what direction to go. So when you don't know what direction to go and you don't know what's going to come next, your world gets consumed with fear. And fear turns you into a worrier because you don't know what's coming next. That leads to anxiety, that leads to depression, that leads to frustration, and that leads to a paralysis where you cannot move because your brain is so threatened that it just won't do anything. So today, this is titled Stay Woke, all right? I did a mindset minute of this in Instagram and on our pages here, and I got a crazy response from it. I'm like, well, that's kind of funny because in 2 weeks I'm going to be talking about this, right? So when I use the word stay woke, that means stay awake, right? Stay woke is kind of a millennial type younger person, right? Look at me, I'm 40 and I'm old. So it's a younger person term for stay aware of the things that are actually happening around you and use discernment in figuring out whether the messages that are coming at you are actually authentic or if they're just spun for someone else's agenda, all right? So I want to take that term of staying woke and apply it to you, the MSer, because it is absolutely vital to your success in your MS life, in your designing your life, in living a life by design and not by diagnosis, that you stay awake because it's going to help you make the decisions that are going to continue to allow you to stay on your visionary path rather than get confused, spun around, and discouraged by distraction. So MS Gym Warriors are awake. They are woke. MS Gym Worriers are asleep. So when we talk about awareness, right, there's two parts of who we are as humans. You got the inner life, like the internal conversations, the inner life of yourself, and then you got the outer life, okay? The outer life is the physical, right? The outer life is what you do for your body. It's the exercise that you do on a daily basis. It's the food that you take in on the daily basis. It's how much sleep you get on a daily basis, right? It's the activities that you participate in that either bring you life or bring you death. There's really there's not any gray area in there. It is what you do. Okay? The inner life, your inner life, is your spiritual, your emotional, and your mental parts of yourself, of your brain. Okay? And both the inner life and the outer life need to be fed. So when we talk about the outer life, and we talk about the outer life being fed, that's what I specialize in. In order for your brain to actually work, it needs two things. That was 4. It needs two things. It needs activation and it needs fuel. Activation and fuel for a brain to work. Activation comes from movement. Your body was designed to move. As I've explained before, your brain has 3 purposes: survival, movement, proprioception. That's it. So it needs to feel safe, it needs to move, and it needs to know what it's doing. So really, the things that allow that to happen are brain activation, neurological activation, and neurological fuel, because your brain runs on the food that you put in your body. So how many times have you gone out and you've had not good food, meaning processed, fast food, deep fried. You don't know where it came from. You're at a restaurant, but oh man, it tastes so good. Like the jalapeno poppers, the chicken wings, the mozzarella balls, right? The Velveeta dip, like that's my freaking nemesis. Like you give me Velveeta cheese and salsa and a bag of chips, I'm like, I'm good. I'll see you guys in 3 hours. Like that's my jam, dude. I am a chip freako. Chips and dip are my jam. So like, I know that that's going to make me feel horrendous, but it's so good, right? So the thing is, like, what happens when you have those bad meals? Processed food, fast food, inflammatory food. How do you feel in an hour after you eat? Are you charged up, ready to go, mind clear, feeling good, digestive tract's going, thermogenic effect of food is going? You're like, come on, baby, come on, give me more. I want to learn, I want to move, I want to do my thing. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up. It's not about that at all. What happens, and I've seen this at conferences over and over, people are on trips, so they eat like junk, and then they come in, and an hour afterwards, they're like, whoa, what? Heads start to nod, snoring starts to happen, drooling happens, because your body is going into a state of literally like catatonic state because you ate bad stuff. It's bad fuel for your brain. So your brain gets sluggish because it's like, slow everything down because I got to process all this garbage I just put in my system. Same thing with inactivity. If you don't move, you are going to feel like junk. If you don't optimize your movement patterns and feed your brain well and decrease the amount of threat in your body, you're going to feel lethargic and fatigued, and your MS symptoms are going to flare up. Your energy is going to tank. Your body's just going to feel heavy and weak and have no vigor to it at all. So you've got to feed your body. It's got to have good food, which means lots of greens, moderate protein, good macronutrients. Some of you are on the fence whether you like high fats or you don't. Whatever. I don't really care what it is, but if it's unprocessed, raw, good food, and you find the program that works for you, you need good fuel going in your body because it feeds your brain to be able to move, to be able to think, to be able to have the neurologic fuel to learn and also to counteract your MS symptoms. And if you feed your body bad junk, you ain't going to function. So the thing is with the physical of food, of movement, and sleep, regeneration, restoration, okay, those are physical tools that when you train your body and treat your body right and maintain your body and feed it the right stuff and use it the right way through movement and through food and through sleep, it allows your inner self to function better. Because if your body feels like crap, pardon my words, if your body feels like crap, I said it again, you will think like crap. You will feel like crap. You will focus like crap. Pardon my words 5 times. But I could say something else, but I'm not gonna. PG, baby. So the thing is that you also, just like you feed and just like you eat food to fuel your body to move, you have to feed your brain thoughts and information and material that allows you to think and focus and perceive your world better. Because if your inner self is getting bad fuel, just like your body, you're not going to think properly. You're not going to have a good perspective on life. Your attitude is going to suck. You're not going to be able to even believe a single word that I say because the fuel to your brain is slowing you down so much, you can't even keep up with all this. I know I speak fast anyway, but you're not even going to hear what I'm saying because your brain is in such a state of threat, it'll never get through. So it is imperative that you feed your inner self good food, good words, good movies, good videos, good people, good relationships, good Facebook groups, because without that inner self being fed and nourished, your physical body is not going to work. And if your physical body is not being fed the right food, your mental is not going to work. Your brain is not going to work. Your mind is not going to work. Therefore, you're going to get frustrated, confused, and fearful because nothing in your world is working. So the thing is, you guys, like I said before, when you eat negative things, you fall asleep. You become numb. You become sludgy. You become sluggish. when you have bad nutrients, you have energy depleted food, the wrong type of exercise, and then you have energy depleted, positivity depleted, encouraging depleted, healing depleted, information coming into your head that you get from TV, from Facebook, from the internet, from music, from podcasts, whatever it is going to make you fall asleep. It is going to make you sluggish, and it is going to paralyze you. It's actually negative stuff being fed into your brain will actually stick you into a routine of mediocrity because you are afraid and you are paralyzed and you will not grow, you will not get better, and you will not improve. So the thing is, like, take this. One thing, you must feed your life light, positivity, healing, encouragement, supportive relationships. Because if you don't, none of this is going to work. Because when you feed your brain and you feed your mind bad stuff, your body just wants to sit there and just process the bad stuff. It wants to process the potato chips and the pizza rolls and the beer and the all this other stuff. And it wants to sit in comfort zone with your hand in your waistband watching football for hours. Because it doesn't have the right energy to go do anything else. So it's just trying to survive and process. So when you have bad thoughts coming into your head and you're listening to bad things, negative things, commiseration, it actually sticks you in this never-ending cycle of mediocrity. It lets you sit in your own misery, which you then feel is comfortable because it's easy and it feels so good, right? Like bad food a lot of times is comfort food. It feels so good, but then it crashes us for the next 2 days. Mindset's the same thing. It may feel good to go into one of your MS support groups and see a bunch of people talking about how miserable they are and how bad MS sucks and how they can't get better and nothing works and I tried exercise and I tried eating and my doctor sucks and my PT sucks and my family sucks and everything sucks. Nobody loves me. Nobody wants me. Everybody hates me. Guess I'll go eat worms. When you sit in that realm, a lot of times it can feel good because you don't feel good. You want validation for your own feelings of feeling like crap. So you go wade in the crap, sit in the crap, and take in more crap because that's what feels good to you. Because you want comfort in your misery. But that's so dangerous. It's so dangerous. Yes, it's easy. Yes, it doesn't require a lot of effort because it is way more, it requires way less effort to be negative than it does to be positive. It's way easier to be down in the dumps and be like, see, I told you I can never get better. I told you this doesn't work. I told you this sucks. Thank you for validating this sucks. Instead of being like, this does suck. I'm having a rough day, but I'm not going to pitch a tent in this valley. I'm going to walk through this valley. Because I know that every single day that I move, that I eat, that I sleep, and that I think well, move well, eat well, sleep well, and think well, and reduce my stress and switch my attitude, then I'm going towards my preferred future. I'm not sitting in my punishing present. I am pursuing my preferred future. I'm not sitting in my punishing present. So the thing is, you guys, when you eat well, move well, sleep well, think well, you are feeding your brain and your body well, and you become awake. And when you're awake, when you're woke, you're aware. And when you're aware, you can actually discern what's good and what's not good for you. You can discern who's good and who's not good for you. You can discern if this doctor is actually the one you should be with, or if it's like, you're toxic to me. You bum me out. Every time I'm here, I'm going to go find someone else. Your friend group, you're toxic. Every time I talk to you, you lower my expectations because it's more comfortable for you. So I'm going to go find some more. I'm going to find some better people to hang out with. You may be in a toxic job, a toxic marriage, a toxic friendship, a toxic medical relationship. And the thing is, if you're constantly in this state of just not getting the right food, fuel, activation to your brain, you will never be able to discern that you need to get out of that situation and have the optimism that there's something better out there for you. Because finding that better out there for you, taking action to go after that better out there for you requires effort. It requires energy. And if your body's in constantly a state of sludgy fatigue, you're not going to take action. You're like, it's just easier just to stay with this neurologist. It's just easier to stay in this bad marriage. It's just easier to stay in these friend groups because this is who I know. It's just easier to believe that exercise doesn't work because when I do exercise, it's tiring. But the thing is, you guys, that's not healing. That's not going to counteract your symptoms. So when you're awake, when you're woke, when you're aware, you can discern. And when you discern what's good and what's not, the things that will move you closer to your vision and the things that will take you away from it, you can focus better on the things that are going to help you live a life by design. That is healing. Right? That is feeding your inner self. That is feeding your outer self. And that is feeding the people around you in your community that you can help as well. Like I talked about last week, every victory that you have is proof that MS can be counteracted. Every victory that you have is proof that movement, mindset, education, belief, community, and vision can beat anything that is thrown at you. Because you have the option of choice. You have the power of choice. You have the opportunity to choose your life. It doesn't get chosen for you. Circumstances may arise. Things may hit you in the face. But you choose how awake you want to be, how vibrant you want to be, how hard you want to chase after your potential. Like I spent years trying to prove myself to this world that I knew what I was talking about, that I was good enough. As you guys heard, I didn't get into med school and I applied twice and my resume was spot on. It was perfect. Perfect grades, perfect service, perfect credentials, perfect shadowing, perfect letters of reference. But that wasn't my plan. God had other plans for me, which was to be here with you. If I would have let that negativity take me out, which I did for years until I finally decided I'm done with this, I have a better purpose for this. I know my call for my life, and I'm going to go after it. Once I got to that point and I dismissed all that other junk, I was awake. Because even though I had title and I had businesses and I had clients and I looked successful on the outside, I was dying on the inside. My mind was a negative mess. My body was a negative mess. I have autoimmunity because I lived in a state of punishing myself and self-defeatism, self-condemnation my entire life. And now that I'm in a place that I'm at where I have an awesome faith life, I have an awesome marital life, I have an awesome life with my kids, I have an awesome career, I have good friends around me. Like I'm awake because I made the conscious decision to find that and seek that and go after it. And now that I have all of this awesomeness around me, I want to go like full out and see what life is actually about. And not just sit in the mediocrity of the routine. I want to push myself physically, push myself spiritually, push myself emotionally, push myself professionally, push myself maritally, push myself parentally, push myself in relationships, and see how much of an impact I can have on this world. And you can do that too. But you first have to impact yourself, and you first have to decide that you're important enough, and that you're lovable enough, and that you're worthy, and that you're deserving of committing your life to becoming the best version of yourself you can be, regardless of what your body's telling you, regardless of what your ex-husband told you, regardless of what your medical provider told you. You have the right, you have the privilege, you have the responsibility, and you have the opportunity and the freedom to be the best version of who you are. So go after it. Eat right, move right, sleep right, think right, study right. Put yourself in front of the right stuff. Because I can tell you from experience, I've been following leaders and successful people since I was 16 years old. And some of the most successful people I've ever had a chance to be involved with were my clients. You guys. You inspire me. My athletes. Because they come in broken. They come in frustrated. They come in anxious. They come in a bad state. Toxic, sludgy, fatigued. And when they make that decision to take action toward designing their life, the diagnosis doesn't matter anymore. The diagnosis is irrelevant. The divorce is irrelevant. The loss of job is irrelevant. Because my people, my athletes knew, I know where I'm going. And I'm going to stay focused on that. And I'm going to stay aware of that. And I'm going to do whatever it takes, read whatever it takes, listen to whatever it takes, move however it needs to take, put myself in front of the right people that feed my desire to create a life by design, not have my diagnosis dictate who I am, what I can do, and where I'm going. My clients have been the greatest inspiration in my life, my athletes. You guys, my MS athletes, you guys are my inspiration. Those that I see rising out of the swamp that they came in to like walk through those valleys and climb those summits and stand on the top and be like, look what I did. Look what I did. Look where I was. Look where I am. I'm going back down in a valley, but I'm going to rise again. You guys, like you athletes, like you are my inspiration. And I just want to represent that and be an example of that as well, as of going after my life passionately, serving passionately, finding peace, finding contentment, finding purpose, but then knowing when to fight, knowing when to dig, knowing when to grind, knowing when to attack. And then when we have a victory, knowing how to celebrate. When we have a defeat, knowing how to fail forward. That's what I want for you guys, because that's what I'm going after in my life. And I can tell you straight up that the people, the MS Gym Warriors who are the most successful, like they invest in themselves. They invest financially. They invest time-wise. They invest focus. They invest energy. They invest prioritization. They literally design their life so that they can heal. And that's what you need to do. Because that's the only way you're going to counteract a chronic neurodegenerative condition. Temporary. Condition means temporary. That is running your world right now. That's the only way. You need to invest time, finances, focus, energy, relationships, in you. Because you deserve it. You deserve to feel better. You deserve to feel free. You deserve to feel loved. You deserve to feel appreciated, valued. You deserve to feel powerful. You deserve to feel elevated. You deserve to feel on fire. You deserve to feel excited. You deserve to feel positive. You deserve to be a light in this dark world. You deserve good things. You deserve abundance. You deserve victory. So I need you guys to really think about how you're feeding yourself. And I need you to actually ask yourself, am I awake? And what areas in my life am I awake? What areas in my life am I a little sleepy? Or am I fully asleep? Because when you assess your life from a physical, spiritual, emotional, mental, relational, purpose-filled way, purpose-filled lens, you realize that you are greater than anything that is thrown at you. You are greater than any diagnosis you get. You are greater than any broken relationship, past abuse, past neglect. You are greater than that because you're you. And you deserve to be happy. And you deserve to be loved. And you deserve victory. So the rest of this week, you guys, I want you to think about, where are you awake and where are you asleep? And on the areas that you're awake, go. On the areas that you're awake, go. Because those areas, and when you attack those, they're going to lower your threat bucket, which is going to counteract your symptoms physically and mentally. And then you got to look at the areas in which you're asleep and realize that those sleepy areas are what are causing threat in your life. That ignoring the badness, ignoring, just suppressing it, pushing it under the rug, not dealing with it. When you don't deal with the things that have caused you pain in the past, they will nag you like a scar. They will never leave you. So pay attention to those. Wake yourself up. Like, grab your soul and wake yourself up. And be like, I'm done with this. I'm done with feeling crappy. I'm done with feeling depressed. I'm done with feeling defeated. I'm done feeling like I have no future. I'm done. And take one action step towards helping yourself. Whether that's something you listen to, something you read, something you watch. whether it's trying one of the exercise programs in the MS gym, whether it's really dialing in your nutrition, or whether it's you give yourself and you allow yourself permission to rest more, sleep more, and take care of you. You got to do what you got to do, man, because you have one life. You have one you. And that life is short. So you either attack, embrace, and grab on to time and make it work for you by designing your life, or you let time and circumstances happen to you, which is a complete and utter imprisonment of your soul. So I hope this helped you guys. This is what I'm walking through right now. This is where I'm at in my life. I'm tired of being asleep. I'm tired of being sleepy. I'm tired of even having negativity in my life, doubt in my life, fear in my life, worry in my life. You got to have faith. You got to have hope. You got to hang yourself on love. And you got to realize that you are awesome. And you deserve to heal. In the MS gym, the community here, the programs here, the coaching here, like they are all here ready for you to use so that you can start living a life of design and not by diagnosis. So I love you guys. Stay woke, baby. Don't go to sleep. There's tons of stuff out here. You're so close to a breakthrough. You just got to start looking for it. All right? Eyes open. Clear eyes, full hearts. Can't lose.